right now on Secrets of Louisville Chefs, a new way to look at food inside Louisville's oldest building.
Absolutely amazing.
Ice cream made with sweet potatoes and liquid nitrogen.
It's lovely.
Peanut butter stuffed dates topped with banana vinaigrette.
So this is the Elvis on horseback.
And you've never had a Reuben like this. It might not look like the sandwich you're used to, but it could be the best you've ever tasted.
The Reuben is amazing.
Excellent.
We'll meet the man behind the food and get his secrets to making it ourselves, plus some interesting Louisville history served on the side. We're going behind the scenes at St. Charles Exchange right now on Secrets of Louisville Chefs.
The secret is
Secrets. Secrets.
give you one more secret.
Secrets.
That's the secret, yeah. It's another good secret.
Hi everybody, Kevin Harned with you again on the show that takes you into the kitchens at Louisville's top restaurants. It's Secrets of Louisville Chefs. And this time we're in what's said to be Louisville's oldest building, where classic food is taking on a whole new twist.
Things that I probably would have never tried.
It's a new taste, and I'm enjoying it.
St. Charles Exchange is a paradox of sorts. It offers cutting-edge cuisine that's rooted in the way things used to be. When you walk in, you feel like you've gone back to Louisville's early days.
St. Charles Exchange was built to bring back what would have been on this corner, say, to turn of the 19th century.
And they've done a wonderful job with the restoration.
They've done such a nice job.
And so I'm really impressed.
In the early 1800s, this was the St. Charles Hotel. And nowadays, it feels a lot like it did back then.
It just has a real warm feeling when you come in, but elegant as well.
Big soaring bar, incredible hardwood floors, an incredible cocktail program reminiscent of that time period, and a classic twist on food items that would have been served in that same time period.
Classic dishes like stuffed dates, updated with a taste of Elvis, a Reuben sandwich that's been deconstructed and enhanced with pickled mustard seeds and Gruyere fondue. And then there's a homemade ice cream made with sweet potatoes and liquid nitrogen.
Come here with an open mind, come here with an open palate, and come here prepared to experiment.
Chef Patrick McCandless is the man behind the scenes responsible for creating all those interesting dishes. And because this is Secrets of Louisville Chefs, he's agreed to reveal the secrets behind them. First, a dish he calls Elvis on horseback, which is a play on an American classic.
Classical dishes called the Devil on horseback and Angel on horseback.
Traditionally, those are dates stuffed with chutney, shrimp, or oysters, and wrapped in bacon.
So this is the Elvis on horseback from the popular Elvis sandwich with the banana and the bacon and the peanut butter. It's one of our more popular appetizers. We have some pitted medjool dates. I got a peanut butter filling here, and this is just peanut butter mixed with some bread that I soaked in some milk as a binder. Get a little stuffing in these dates. Go ahead and wrap them in bacon. We use either Mariah or Newski's. Those are two bacons that I enjoy, have a really good natural smoke to them. Just wrap them nice and tight. So that's what they look like.
From here, they go into a deep fryer.
So these are the dates that we've cooked.
If you don't have a deep fryer, you can cook these in the oven or the stovetop.
Yeah, in the oven, or you can sear it in a pan, sear it around.
You won't believe how good these things taste. And they're even better paired with a dose of Chef Patrick's smoked banana vinaigrette.
So I can show you how to make that real quick. Drop in 3 bananas. So what we kind of do is get a little brown on it. It'll pull out some more of the sugars from the bananas. 2-3 tablespoons of some crystallized ginger. A couple chipotle peppers. That's where we get the smokiness from. So to that, 1/4 cup of lime juice, 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Once this is cooked down some, I'll add a splash of bourbon to it. After I let this cook for about, I'd probably let that go for about 5 minutes. And then it goes into a blender with about a cup and a half of coconut milk, and then a little bit of turmeric for some color. So that's the final product. That's the mixture with some coconut milk and turmeric. Take some of our nice smoked banana puree, right down on the plate. Take our Elvis on horseback here, a few peanuts here to go with the peanut butter. We'll garnish, we just do a little bit of cut chives right on top. And that is the finished dish, Elvis on horseback.
Strongly suggest it for anyone that comes here to eat.
It was just excellent. Incredible, incredible.
The combination was kind of a strange combination, but when it was all put together, it was very good, very good. I would highly recommend it.
A signature dish here at St. Charles Exchange, so why not come on down and try it? Or now that you know the secrets, how about try making it yourself at home? And stay tuned because we have more secrets to reveal from St. Charles Exchange coming up.
So the next dish we're gonna do is the pork belly Reuben.
I guarantee you've never had a Reuben like this.
The Reuben is amazing.
And we'll show you how it's made coming up. And did you know there's a connection to this place and Jesse James? We'll tell you more about that when we come back on Secrets of Louisville Chefs right here from St. Charles Exchange. Kevin Harnett back with you at the show that takes you out to eat and behind the scenes at your favorite restaurants. And this time on Secrets of Louisville Chefs, we are at St. Charles Exchange downtown. This restaurant is relatively new to the Louisville culinary scene, but as far as the building, guests have been coming here for centuries.
The St. Charles Hotel is the oldest building in downtown Louisville. It was completed in the late 1830s. It was a hotel until the turn of the 19th century.
After that, bourbon was booming in Louisville, so the building became the Bourbon Distillery.
Whiskey was distilled and made, and it was taken right down 7th Street to the river for shipping. In a boiler room was our courtyard, where we have outside dining.
The food served at St. Charles pays tribute to the past. It's reminiscent of a menu you might find a century ago, but with a lot of modern updates. And the cocktail program is much the same.
Well, it's ingredients, the quality of ingredients that we use, fresh juices. We're actually responsible for bringing 20 new products into Kentucky that had never been sold here to make cocktails with.
They want you to experiment here with new flavors and new combinations.
Things that I probably would have never tried. If I would have come in and looked at the menu, I probably would have never tried it.
Do yourself a favor and get adventurous. It's a taste experience you'll likely never forget. Whether it's with peanut butter stuffed dates or braised lamb shanks topped with ancho chili sauce.
And the lamb is amazing. And that's not something that I would normally order, but I would definitely order that.
It's delicious.
Chef Patrick McCandless is the mind behind these masterpieces. He's from Vincennes, Indiana, and he's been experimenting with food for a long time.
As a kid, I always watched all the, cooking shows on TV. My grandparents would let me play around in the kitchen and ended up just making a huge mess.
Nowadays, you'll find that Patrick keeps one of the cleanest kitchens around. And as far as the cooking, he's no longer just playing around. For instance, check out the Reuben he makes.
I love Reuben.
The Reuben is amazing.
If you're like me, you've probably had a Reuben or two, but none quite like this.
Just kind of took the components of a Reuben. We have the rye, we got the pork belly, the pickle, all the components. We do a Gruyere fondue, almost like a beer cheese, and then we have the cabbage, braise down some cabbage.
To make the fondue, first melt down some butter in a saucepan. The chef uses this to make a roux. That's flavored with garlic, shallots, and cooked bacon.
No matter where I go from here, I know it's going to turn out good. I'm going to add my flour to create a roux. Once the roux is made, we'll add the milk, stir in a couple chipotle peppers, with a little bit of heat.
He lets this simmer until it begins to thicken, and then it's time for the cheese.
It's Gruyere cheese, so it's going to be very thick at this point, and that's when we'll finish it off with the beer. Just kind of thin it out.
And finally, a little secret seasoning.
It's a little mixture of salt, pepper, and nutmeg. I'm just going to hit it with the immersion blender real quick. The main reason I do this is to kind of bust up the chipotle pepper a little bit. So here we have the finished sauce.
Now for the meat, which is much different than the standard Reuben gets. Pork belly that takes days to make.
It's a little labor intensive, but it's well worth it. We put them in a cure. We make a cure for 2 days, and so then we will confit it in pork fat. These will be entirely covered in pork fat in the oven, and we'll let that go for 4 or 5 hours until it's done. And we'll press that overnight, sometimes 2 days, and it'll compress the fat layers down. Set these in a hot pan. Get some nice color on them. Let's get a nice sear here on the sides.
Now, most traditional Reubens are piled high with sauerkraut, but the cabbage in this Reuben has a twist to it.
It's very simple. Some red onion, we got some cabbage. Just gonna cook that down together. I'm gonna hit it with just a little bit of brown sugar for some sweetness. And then to finish it, we're gonna cook it down in some red wine vinegar. What I wanna do here is just break down the cabbage and the onions. This is the rye bread pudding that we make. So this is where the rye comes into play for the Reuben. We take rye bread and dry it out to make the bread pudding, and we add more caraway seed and spices. There's just garlic in there. We'll let that sit overnight in a custard mix, and then we'll bake it off the next day. So the plate, got our Gruyere fondue. Lay down our rye bread pudding. Pork belly goes right on top of that. A little pile of our vinegar braised cabbage. I have some pickle relish here. This is just bread and butter pickles that we make in-house, chopped up. And then I put them on some heat and put a little cornstarch slurry in them, just to bind the whole thing together.
And here's a unique condiment you don't see too often, pickled mustard seeds that almost look like caviar.
That is the pork belly Reuben.
The cabbage and the pork belly and the sauce on the bottom, it was just very good.
Also, I have to say I'm a big fan of the Gruyere fondue, which I think could be a compliment to just about any dish.
If that doesn't whet your appetite. And wait until you see what else the chef has in store. Coming up, lamb shanks with ancho chili sauce, along with the secrets to doing it yourself. Plus,
The last dish we're gonna do is the bourbon pecan pie.
and ever heard of sweet potato ice cream? We'll show you how it's made when Secrets of Louisville Chefs returns. Thanks for joining us once again on Secrets of Louisville Chefs. I'm Kevin Harnett, this time coming to you from downtown at St. Charles Exchange. And today is a great day to be here.
Every day is a great day at St. Charles Exchange.
And today is even better because the chef is taking us into his kitchen, revealing the secrets to his most popular dishes. But those aren't the only secrets in the building. In fact, some date all the way back to the 1800s, when this was the St. Charles Hotel.
There's rumors that Jesse James stayed here and actually robbed the bank that was across the street that is now 21C. Apparently got away with $300,000 in gold and was chased back across the river from Indiana by some federal troops.
You won't find any bank robbers around here these days. At least we don't think so. But what you will find is some cutting-edge cuisine. And to me, that's as good as gold. We have Chef Patrick McCandless to thank for that. He's been cooking all his life, always looking to push the envelope.
But I always had a passion for this. I always loved food, taking raw product and creating, what we create out of it.
The combinations that the Chef Patrick does is amazing.
Everything's just been delicious.
Patrick started out experimenting in the kitchen at home and then washing dishes in restaurants as he grew up.
And then from there, I went to culinary school. I went to Sullivan. I go to Sullivan.
Now at St. Charles Exchange, he's at the top of his game and is revealing the secrets to this braised veal shanks with ancho chili sauce. And one secret to it is that the sauce is also the braising liquid. It begins with a sauté of onion and garlic.
So it's a good start to a sauce. We just want to get these nice and caramelized, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Add some water. Add some veal gloss.
The veal gloss is rich, luxurious, and made from scratch.
We get in veal knuckles, and we'll roast them off and make a stock. Usually let that go for about 14 hours, strain it all out, and then we'll reduce it again for about another 6 hours. Very labor intensive, takes a few days to make, but it's well worth it. Ancho chilies, a little bit of brown sugar, dried mission figs, do some ketchup for some acidity and some body, a little bit of Worcestershire, and whole cumin seeds and dried mustard. So I'll bring this back up to a simmer, and then from there, I take it and I'll puree and then strain it, run it through a chinois, and then I have something that resembles this. I'll usually keep about half of this much larger batch when I make it. I'll take about half of it, save it from sauce, and the other half I'll braise the lamb shanks in.
The shanks get braised for hours in this. And when they're done, the meat just falls off the bone. But that's just the beginning. Next come the goat cheese grits.
They were so, so delicious.
These start with shallots, caramelized in a sauté pan.
And then from there I'll add my different liquid components. So equal parts stock, cream, and water. I'll add my grits. Once they're incorporated and start to thicken, we'll add the goat cheese, a nice creaminess. Finish it off with some chopped herbs. This is thyme, rosemary, and parsley.
And like your mother always says, don't forget your greens.
Some nice Swiss chard. So I just lightly wilt these down. I still want them to have some little bit of crunch and texture to them for the dish. So those are finished. So to play here, we got our goat cheese grits, a little bit of our wilted Swiss chard. Pull out one of our braised shanks here. Top that with some of our ancho chili fig sauce. And then for garnish, I got a mixture of cilantro, parsley, and celery leaves. That's the finished dish.
It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Very filling.
Filling indeed. But you'll want to pace yourself because dessert here is always a treat and always made from scratch.
The last dish we're going to do is the bourbon pecan pie.
And get this, it's served with a homemade ice cream you've probably never seen before.
We make sweet potato ice cream here, so I just peel potatoes. I'll run it through an extractor, so we'll get just pure sweet potato juice. We'll then add that to our ice cream base, our creme anglaise, and then put it in the mixer.
From there, it's frozen with liquid nitrogen and served right alongside the pecan pie. And here are the secrets to that.
So start with just a basic pie dough, roll it out, put it in the molds, and then just cut around the edges. For the filling, it's pretty simple. We'll do some eggs, brown sugar. To that, I'm gonna add corn syrup. We have some molasses, bourbon, of course. Definitely like using bourbon. And toasted chopped pecans. Just fill our molds here. So this just goes in the oven about 350 degrees, 15-20 minutes.
And this is what it looks like when it comes out. And here is how the chef presents it on the plate.
So it's got a little bit of caramel, a little caramel down on the plate.
The pie goes on top of that. And then a bowl of that sweet potato ice cream.
I thought it was wonderful. Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Truly amazing. Who would have ever thought about using sweet potatoes to make ice cream? You've got to try this. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this show. We hope you've enjoyed learning the recipes from Chef Patrick and all the folks here at St. Charles Exchange. We appreciate them hosting us. If you're looking for those recipes, any others, or maybe a complete restaurant guide, it's easy to find on our website. Just visit newlocaltv.com. I'm Kevin Harnett, and we'll see you next time on Secrets of Louisville Chefs.
I'm Patrick McCandless at St. Charles Exchange, and thank you for watching Secrets of Louisville Chefs.